So that's your first step. Our first step is we are going to get a horizon line drawn across there. And we're going to put vanishing points on either side, which is why this will be called a 2-point and not a 1-point. Now the big difference between a 2-point and a 1-point is 2-point, we only see a corner. We don't see a flat front like we did on the 1-point. So my starting part for this is not going to be to draw a box. Instead, it's going to be to just draw a line. So I just start out with a line, not a box. And from my line, I'm going to draw back to the right and the left. So I'm drawing twice at each point. I'm drawing back from the right and the left. I'm drawing twice at each point. And you can tell my lines didn't quite go all the way back there. You saw I was lined up. I'm just not going to erase as much. And finishing the back end of a 2-point's pretty nice, because then all we have to do, on this one, all we have to do is do an end line. We just have to do it on both sides. So we decide how deep we want that box to be. Vertical line on the right, vertical line on the left. Then I can go in, erase my horizon behind the box. And erase my horizon, or my guidelines. So there shouldn't be any horizontal lines, and that's the big thing. You shouldn't have any horizontal lines. And horizontal lines are your horizon line. That's the only horizontal line you should have on this, is your horizon line. You're just simply looking at a corner on this. It should be on a new page. See, there's a horizontal line, because you're not going back to the vanishing point. And we tend to see a lot more 2-point perspective in the world because we'll see corners of objects. Usually it takes actually us lining ourselves up to see a 1-point. You start to use your vertical line. All right, let's go to the more complex, much cooler looking ones. So above and below, I'm going to start below, and I'm going to again draw myself just a corner, just like I started this top one. Now, I would suggest don't make it super close to this top one. You'll end up overlapping, which, while there's nothing wrong with that, if you're learning how to do this, it can get complicated, but there isn't anything wrong to overlap. In fact, I'm going to ask you to overlap here in a little bit later today. So I'm going to draw back to my left from the top and the bottom. I'm going to draw back to my right from the top and the bottom. Should look like that. So I started with a vertical center line, draw back to the right, draw back to the left. Now to end that, we're going to end that just like we ended the one above it. We're going to decide how far back we want it to go. We're going to do vertical lines on either side of that. And I'm using my triangle up against the bottom of the page to get those vertical lines. Now, just like our 1 point over there that we can see to the side, you'll notice we're going to need to draw the top. We haven't drawn the top. Before I do much more, I'm going to erase these guidelines just so it's not messy. So I'm going to get rid of my guidelines that I don't need anymore on either side, just so it's not messy. Some of you guys are going to look at this and you are innately going to understand what you need to do next. Some kids will not look at this and understand what they're going to do next. I'm going to go to my back right corner. Okay. Now I've already got a vertical line drawn from this point, and I've already got a line going to the right from this point. That only leaves me one other option, which is to draw to the left. Because I don't draw horizontal lines on 2-point perspective pieces. So I draw to the left with that. Same thing's going to go for this corner over here, this back corner. I've already got a vertical line. I've already got a line going to the left. So I know I need to go to the right over here as well. Line up with that vanishing point and draw that back. Now you may have noticed I only drew those lines just a little bit past. Once you start understanding that you got to go to your vanishing point, you can draw shorter lines so you don't have to erase as much. The only reason I start out drawing all of my lines back to the vanishing point is so you guys can see where I'm drawing, because I will have kids who will start drawing their lines every which way and not to the vanishing point. So once that's done and I clean that up, I have this nice box sitting down here that I can see onto the top of. So just like yesterday, I'll flip this first and show you. So I flip that. That's what this is going to look like in the sky. Okay, we're going to draw that one, but that's what it's going to look like when I put it up top. It'll look exactly like it looked below, just flippy-flopped. Okay, I'm going to talk less through this one. Feel free to just go on your own speed on this one. Draw my center line. Guidelines back to the left and the right. Decide where I'm going to end it. Triangle is lined up with the corner edge of the paper. Vertical line on the right. Vertical line on the left. Clean up my guidelines. And then in my back corners, I'm going to draw the opposite direction. So from my back left, I will draw to the right. From my back right, I will draw to the left. Crisscross those two, and it gives me my back corner. And that, my friends, is the end of 2-point perspective.